All right, so in this video number 5, we're actually going to talk about the 7 Fires Prophecy. There's a lot of significance in this. I know this is actually your prophecy from your people. And so of course, you know all about it. So all the perspective I'm going to take is tying the 7 Fires Prophecy into the ancient scrolls, because you know the rest. So that's the approach we'll take. So just to kind of start at a baseline so we're on the same page, 7 Fires Prophecy is where 7 prophets came to the Anishinaabe, who are the indigenous people or the lost tribes who settled in the Great Lakes area of Canada, North America, and a little bit east of there as well. So the prophets left the people with 7 predictions or prophecies of what the future would bring. And basically it's a story, multi-generational story of the journey from your homeland to where you are now. And actually you'll see it comes back to the creator. All right, so it starts with the creator, finishes with the creator. All right, so here we are. The first prophet said to the people, and I copied and pasted this from a website of the documents, William Commanda, who is the Indigenous leader who is assigned keeper of the 7 Fires Prophecy, and he has possession of the wampum belt, which records the story of the 7 Fires Prophecy. So this is from a website where he's quoted. All right. In the time of the first fire, the Anishinaabe nation will rise up and follow the sacred shell of the Midewiwin Lodge. The Midewiwin Lodge will serve as a rallying point for the people, and its traditional ways will be the source of much strength. The sacred Meiji will lead the way to the chosen ground of the Anishinaabe. You are to look for a turtle-shaped island that is linked to the purification of the earth. You will find such an island at the beginning and end of your journey. There will be 7 stopping places along the way. You will know the chosen ground has been reached when you come to a land where food grows on water. If you do not move, you will be destroyed. There is so much water that if you stay in one place, you might drown. Or if you do not progress, you will fall. All right. Now, I know there's a lot of interpretations of that going around, but again, I'm going to tie it into the ancient scrolls. That's the relevance for this video. So just to say, who are the sacred Meiji? Well, if you do the research on that, they are Persian priests of the Zoroastrian religion. And Persia is the area of Iran, Iraq, and Turkey area. That's the land of, well, no, actually more Iran, Iraq, maybe a bit into Saudi Arabia. That's Persia. And so these were priests of that particular religion. And if you remember a few videos ago, I said there's evidence of all kinds of other religions that have infiltrated into what we see today. So this would be evidence of one of them. All right, let's just go straight to this new land is linked to the purification of the earth. So there's a question that comes to that. Well, how? What purifies? What does that mean? Okay, so we're going to come back to that, but that begs the question: how is it going to purify? All right. Also, in the ancient scrolls, there's a lot of symbolism. So it doesn't always mean, like it says, it will be a land shaped like a turtle. In the ancient scrolls, it talks a lot in not literal terms, but in symbolic terms. And so the significance of a turtle is a turtle means he who is a sojourner, he who carries his house on his back. And so it becomes the land of the people who carry their house on their backs. That's kind of how that would tie into the ancient scrolls, which obviously is very accurate. And the other thing is the Oh, where the food grows on water. Again, for the, to apply that to the ancient scrolls, or to tie that in a symbolic way. The creator is another way he is described is he's the living water, right? That he, like when yeah, it's just one way he's described, that he's alive, right? And water makes us not thirsty, right? It feeds us, and so the creator, of course, does that. And so where food is on the water, it means that that the creator gives us spiritual food, right, based on the living water. So again, not a literal translation, but a symbolic translation being offered there. All right, let's just right, and it says that your travels will start and end at the same place, and that is, and we're going to get into this in the next video, is that that your relationship with your ancient ways and the full relationship with the creator will come back again. So you started there in Israel, went into captivity, wandered away, got here to North America, and that once again, this is the place where you will be restored to the creator and all of his ways. So the beginning and the end, and in the ancient scrolls, the creator is described that he is the beginning and the end. He's the everything. He created everything. All right. All right. So we'll leave that there. All right. The second prophecy. So the second prophet told the people, you will know the second fire because at this time, the nation will be camped by a large body of water, the Bering Sea. And the Bering Sea is right here. Oh, you can't see from the glare from the light. Obviously off the coast of Russia, Bering Sea, and over into Alaska, North America. All right. In this time, the direction of the sacred shell will be lost. Passing over this body of water, which will be a very difficult task, will completely separate you from where you have come from. The direction to go back will be lost. You will also lose your traditional ways and the memory of this journey. The Midewiwin will diminish in strength. A boy will be born to point the way back to the traditional ways. The true white brother, his name is the true white brother. He will show the direction to the stepping stones to the future of the Anishinaabe people. Okay, let's break that down. All right. So this is a key. And I know there's a common belief that finding your way back to your ancient ways, colonization kind of destroyed all of that, or much of it, trying to recall those ancient ways and bring them back. But after a few generations within early colonization, some of those ways were lost, and indeed it's been a struggle for you. I've seen it with my own eyes, but I think you can see that there's colonization has blocked you getting back to your old ways, but also here, crossing over the Bering Sea is another place where you're blocked. So there's two places you've been blocked in getting back to your ancient ways. Like, that's a lot. and then we think back even farther when you were in captivity, in Egypt, Assyria, and Babylon. Again, your ways were erased and abolished. So it's been quite a challenge, all right. So that's a key point. Also, who is the true white brother? Okay, this is the first time this has popped up. Who is the true white brother? Okay, that's a key thing. It says because he was born, so he's already been born, like way back, at this point in history, he was born and he came to point the way back to the traditional ways. So the true white brother is a key piece to finding your ways, your traditional ways. All right. And again, this is word for word, your prophecies. All right. The good news is, I just said this, so I'm just reading from my notes. The good news is the true white brother will restore you to the creator and to your ancient ways. That's the good news. Okay. And everything I'm saying, guys, it all comes back to good news. I just want to make sure I'm thorough in getting to that point. All right. Let's go to the third prophet, or the third fire. And in the third fire, the Anishinaabe will find the path to their chosen ground, a land in the west, right? North America is considered the West. In a land in the west to which they must move their families. This will be the land where food grows on water. Again, food on the living water, spiritual food on the living the creator. Now, we know that the Anishinaabe came to the Great Lakes area. I'm not sure, like maybe you guys can explain that. Well, how do you explain food growing on water? Is it just the fish are so abundant that they're jumping out? I'm not quite sure, but you would know that. All right, let's continue on. The fourth fire was originally given to the people by two prophets. So it's two parts. They came as one. They told of the coming of the light-skinned race. And then there's a note here. Again, I copied and pasted this from the website. Apparently, there is some misunderstanding from the original revelation, or maybe some part is forgotten as it was originally revealed. That's just a note that I wanted to make sure I passed on, so I was being thorough. All right, so here we go. One of the prophets said, "You will know the future of our people by the face of the light-skinned race wears. If they come wearing the face of brotherhood, then there will come a time of wonderful change for generations to come. They will bring new knowledge and articles that can be joined with the knowledge of our nation. In this way, two nations, red and white, will join to make a mighty nation. And this new nation will be joined by two more, black and yellow races, so that four will form the mightiest nation of all. You will know the face of the brotherhood if the light-skinned race comes carrying no weapons, if they come bearing only their knowledge and a handshake." All right. I'll just go into the second prophet and then we'll break that down. The other prophet said, "Beware if the light-skinned race comes wearing the face of death." So it's the opposite. You must be careful because of the face of the brotherhood. You must be careful because the face of the brotherhood and the face of death look very much alike. If they come carrying a weapon, beware. So their faces look the same. They're coming, maybe one is kind of like a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? A false friendly face. But the difference is the friendly ones are not carrying a weapon and the non-friendly ones were carrying a weapon. All right, I'll continue. If they come in suffering, they could fool you. Their hearts may be filled with greed for the riches of this land. If they are indeed your brothers, let them prove it. Do not accept them in total trust. You shall know that the face they wear is one of death if the rivers run with poison and fish become unfit to eat. You shall know them by these many things. All right, well, I think we all know they came with weapons, right? No need to go back to that and explain that. But so this is obviously telling of the time of colonization. This is where we're at in the history as these prophecies are unraveling history. So the time of colonization, and we know which kind of brother arrived. It was the, what did they call it? The, I'll just say the unfriendly, or the unfriendly ones, because they came with weapons. And we know, how, the Indigenous people decided to manage that, right? And so they, decided to try to trust them. And all right. And so we know what happened. All right. So I want to say, so here I am now, how many years later, right? And I'm saying I come in peace. I'm coming bearing knowledge, right? It says here, they will bring new knowledge and articles that can be joined with the knowledge of our nation. I'm coming in peace, bringing a knowledge to facilitate you to come back to your ancient ways, to find who you are and whose you are. That's my heart. That's my purpose. And you can judge if I am come in peace or to propagate more of what my ancestors did. You be the judge. Feel free. My heart is that our two nations can come together, because I believe we can. And that's why I'm doing all of this. This is why I've done the research over the last 4.5 years. This is why I've put in all the time and the effort. Let's see. Right. A person, a gentleman from the Sabaganagidi band of the Mi'kmaq tribe, which is very near where I live, prophesied over me one time. It was years ago, like 3 years ago or something, maybe even 4 years ago, saying that, so we had been talking for some time, and he said, he prophesied over saying that you will unite all of the skin colors of the world. And that was pretty much at the beginning of my, where my curiosity began of trying to understand who are the First Nations people. And I had no idea it was going to lead to this, that they were the lost tribes. That, like, I had no idea this is what it would come to. I had no idea the significance of what would transpire. But this gentleman just prophesied and said, you are going to unite all of the skin colors of the world. And that's where that kind of ignited in me, I guess. And I want to see us all prosper. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of seeing people suffering, particularly the children, particularly the children. It causes me great pain and distress to see children struggling and suffering. All right. And where this is leading, a kind of a little bit of a hint, I don't know what they call that in the movies, but spoiler alert, there we go, is that as I've gone through the research of this journey, the Creator has given me the blueprint of how we can rebuild based on His ways. But here's the key to the blueprint. I can't do it. It needs the white-skinned people, the red-skinned people to start it and do it together. It's not possible to do with just me and my people. It's not possible. We can get so far, but then we get stuck. And we've been trying, but we get stuck. And I know it's because we need the input of the Indigenous people of North America, the red-skinned people. There's a key, there's something spiritual about that needs to happen. Anyways, spoiler alert of what's to come in the next couple of videos. All right, let's continue on, because this is just absolutely fascinating. The fifth prophet said, in the time of the fifth fire, there will come a time of great struggle that will grip the lives of all Native people, not some, but all. At the warning of this fire, there will come among the people one who holds a promise of great joy. If the people accept this promise of a new way and abandon the old teachings, then the struggle of the fifth fire will be with the people for many generations, or like, your people for many generations. One more sentence, two more sentences. The promise that comes will prove to be a false promise. All those who accept this promise will cause the near destruction of the people. Okay, so let's break that down. What point in history are we talking about now? Well, there was a time when, so think about what gives people a promise of peace, right? Well, part of that is alcohol, hallucinogens, right? This is when these kinds of things infiltrated your people. And so that brings, a feeling of euphoria, a feeling of lightheartedness, of peace, but it's a false peace, right? Like it says here, it holds a promise of great joy, but it is, where does it say? Yeah, the promise that comes will prove to be a false promise, right? Because we know what happens the next morning, right? So that's the one aspect of false peace, promises of false peace. But there's another one. This is where other religions really started making promises. Let's say that's what it says here. Yeah, and making promises, right? And so religions like Baha'i, Buddhism, Hindu, Shambhala, mystical pathways of India, and other religions came in promising, a false peace. I'm not going to say any more on that, but they promoted fantasy lifestyles to seek peace. But it was not based on the creator's ways, just like the prophecy said. So ultimately it leads to increased depression, the opposite of peace, increased depression, anxiety, illness, and disease, the opposites of peace, right? And so in these religions, there's no accountability for one's wrongdoing, right? It basically, they say, oh yeah, you can do whatever you want, it doesn't matter. And there's no accountability, and you can have peace because that gives you freedom because you can do whatever you want. But the creator says, right? And you know what the creator says. He says, be kind, right? Be kind to others, kind to the animals. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. Be faithful to your spouses. Kind to the animals and the earth, and don't be sexually immoral, right? Those are the creator's ways. But if you so there needs to be an accountability for those things, and when we're accountable and we do live the creator's ways, there is a peace and a joy and a love that comes. But when we're not held accountable by false religions, right, we actually end up being tormented, right? Our minds become tormented with anxiety and depression and illnesses and stuff like that. All right. Here's a note. I'm gonna just, I copied and pasted this from the website, as I'm gonna read it as I pasted. The keeper of the seven fires wampum, William Commanda of the Algonquin, there he is, he's from the Algonquin, says, it was Baba, the founder of the sixth fire, who brought the importance of social service combined with yeah, I guess I missed part of the sentence, so I'll just keep going. It says, and he says, escaping this world through meditation, trances, hallucinogens, to go to creator is a false promise. This is also taught in our teachings. So what he's saying is like, hallucinogens, trances, seances, and mystical paths of India. He said they're false ways to find the peace of the creator. All right. So let's go on. The sixth fire. Okay. In the time of the sixth fire, it will be evident that the promise of the first fire came in a false way. Those deceived by this promise will take their children away from the teachings of the elders. Grandsons and granddaughters will turn against the elders. In this way, the elders lose their reason for living. They will lose their purpose in life. At this time, a new sickness will come among the people. The balance of my people will be disturbed. The cup of life will almost become the cup of grief. Well, I think we can say this is where we're at now. This is the fire that brings us to the present day. From what I've learned from Sabeganagiri, the Mi'kmaq people where I live, is there's an effort to get back to listening to the elders. And when elders don't fulfill their purpose, then the whole societal economy falls apart. A note that this new sickness, this is by William Commanda. He says the new sickness will be described as greed that will destroy the communities. All right. Okay. So that's, I would safely say that's where we're at now, or where you're at now. So let's go on. The final one. The seventh prophet came to the people long ago, said to be different from the other prophets. He will not bring a new conflicting religion. He unifies us. He is young and has a strange light in his eyes. He is the true white brother. So that was mentioned at the beginning in the first fire, or the first prophecy. All right. So here's what it says. In the time of the seventh fire, new people will emerge. They will retrace their new people, meaning, as I've read through this, means young people, will retrace their steps to find what was left by the trail. It is now that those whom these prophecies are given will realize where they have come from and why. Their steps will take them to the elders who will guide them. Ask to guide them. Oh, sorry, new paragraph. All right. So basically, these children are going to find their original ways. All right. Their steps will take them to the elders who they will ask to guide them on their journey. But many of the elders have fallen asleep. They will awaken to this new time with nothing to offer, and many will teach the wrong and corrupted ways because of our ancient teachings are long lost. Some of the elders will be silent because no one will ask anything of them. The young people will have to be careful in how they approach the elders so they are not deceived. The task of the new young people will not be easy. If the new young people will remain strong in their quest, there will be a rebirth of the Anishinaabe nation and a rekindling of old flames. Many will be saved and become one. Their salvation will be assured. The sacred fire of their hearts will again be lit. Okay, this is a long one. There's one more paragraph, and then we'll start to break it down. It is this time the light-skinned race will be given a choice between two roads. If they choose the right road, then the seventh fire will light the eighth and final fire, an eternal fire of peace, love, brotherhood, and sisterhood. And this is when the ancient kingdom returns, or the ancient ways, because it was called a kingdom when you were back with King Solomon. If the light-skinned race makes the wrong choice of roads, then the destruction which they brought with them in coming to this country will come back at them and cause much suffering and death to all the earth's people, and tribulation will come. Okay, let's break this down. Let's go back to the new young people. So retracing your steps is exactly what I'm offering you right now in these videos. Retracing your steps back to where you came from, who you came from. That's what I'm offering. And I'll unravel the blueprint. As I said earlier, I'll unravel the blueprint. It includes the children. And and it is for the children. And it's amazing. Okay. So yeah, it's about retracing your steps and finding your way back. And guys, I hear about the elders, right? I've met a lot of the elders here where I live, and they're beautiful, they're wonderful people, they're loving and they're kind and they're patient people. It's no wonder, honestly, I don't think anyone intends to lead people astray, particularly young people, but it's no wonder with all the, all the tribulations you guys have been through over the many, many, many generations and hundreds, well, almost a couple thousand years, right? It's no wonder they're in the place that they're at. Okay. All right. So next point. Do I have any? I just want to read my notes here. Okay. So just like your people were warned back when, it doesn't say necessarily here, but I know that I've heard stories that you were warned that the white pale-faced people would come with lightning sticks, meaning guns, rifles, right? And you were warned not to trust them, right? I'm saying to you today that this final prophecy, I can tie that in with other prophecies today. And actually, I can tie it in with proof that there is a wave, another wave of light-skinned people coming that are not friendly. Okay. And again, I'm going to get into this, I think maybe in the next video. No, 2 more videos, I'll get to that, of what is coming. And it's actually already on its way. It's already being implemented, but it's not too late. All right. So I'm coming to you saying there's going to be another wave, and we're actually already feeling it right now in particularly in Canada and North America. But again, we have a blueprint to not just survive, but thrive. And we'll get to that in a few videos. All right. We must remember the prophet who said, a boy will be born. So this is in the second prophecy, the second fire. A boy will be born to point the way back to the traditional ways. He will show the direction to the stepping stones to the future of the Anishinaabe. For the boy, we need only recall Sun Spirit, and we know who Sun Spirit is. Okay, those were the William Comanda's notes. We're going to talk about that in the next video. Who is this true white brother? Because he's the answer. He's the answer. Just a little note, it says the first fire would lead you right back, lead you to come a full circle to the 8th fire. That's exactly what's happening right now. The true white brother, spoiler alert, the true white brother is actually described in your ancient scrolls as the creator himself. And he's presenting himself to you once again to restore you, right? He's been faithful to come back to you and give you a way out. Or sorry, a way back to him. So we're going to get into that in the next video. So this is where things are really going to start not unraveling, but kind of coming together. It's going to come full circle, and things will get pretty exciting. All right. I hope this has been enlightening. I just ask you, I know I'm taking a while to get to the point, but all of this framework needs to be laid. I believe, it's important to not just say, this is the truth, you better believe it, right? Because that's a cult, right? That's a cult that does that. It's important to cover all the bases. give all the background so people can make informed decisions, informed choices, ask questions. I know we can't ask questions right now because on a video, but my hope is that once I've kind of been through it all, my hope is to meet and discuss this way forward. All right. So bear with me. I hope it's been interesting, and I'll see you in the next video.